What's up, everybody? I'm David Hain. Welcome to episode 62 of the A to D From Addict to Disciple podcast. I'd like to give a big shout out to our new listeners from Macedonia and Brazil. That brings our reach up to 47 countries. Awesome, guys. Thanks so much. If you would like one-on-one counseling or to launch or join a group using the podcasts or the From Ashes to Destiny curriculum, please send me a message by email at davidfromatod@gmail.com or go to my website, www.fromatod.org, and click on the contact page. When we come back, we'll get into this episode entitled Small Groups, A Key to Recovery. Welcome back to episode 62, entitled Small Groups, A Key to Recovery. Today's episode will be our fifth group session. I'm honored to have the same friends in recovery from the U.S., England, South Africa, and Australia, sharing their hurts, their hearts, and their hopes in this group. As before, I'll keep them anonymous, but I'll be saying their answers as if we're having a group meeting. I want to thank the listeners who asked why A to D emphasizes group sessions so much. So guys, I'm turning to you for your answers on this. What has your participation in this group meant to you? Or how do small group sessions help you? Eddie, what do you think? Well, David, the small group sessions have helped me open up again and realize my blessings in how far I have come and being able to finally use my experiences, emotions, and challenges that I encountered to assist others in overcoming addiction. Awesome, Eddie. That's a great start. It really is about how can we give back even while we're in the process ourselves. Frank, how about you? Well, being part of the group has brought clarity to a few of the thoughts and feelings that I've had in the past. It helps me see, as I listen to the other guys, that it's not just me struggling, that there are others out there that go through various situations in addiction that are not different from mine at all. Good point, Frank. How about you, Ben? Wow, small group has helped me on many levels. But one of the main reasons I love small group is there never seems to be a time when somebody doesn't stab right in with something they are going through, and it just breaks everybody's heart open so that we can all bleed out what's going on in our lives. I love the intimacy, the honesty, and the openness that seems to eventually happen from small group. Sometimes at first it may seem like nothing is happening or is going to happen. But I've never been in a small group where eventually somebody was not courageous enough to step up and open up. I've literally seen people who came in looking like everything was okay and then suddenly opened up after maybe half an hour about how they've contemplated suicide or relapse. That opens up the door then for them to have hope, because the group can surround them with love and encouragement. The really cool part to me is the people pouring out the encouragement usually say, "Man, I thought I was going through something, but I wasn't going through anything like that person that we just encouraged." So it turns into this situation where even hurting people can start to help people, and they get helped as they help others, if that makes sense. Finally, I love the camaraderie and the friendship bonds that are formed as people get open and honest and know that their struggles are safe in that group to talk about. There's nothing like having a friend that you can empathize with because they've been in the same hole you find yourself in. Harry, you're smiling ear to ear. You must be in agreement. Yes, David, and it's reassuring to hear from others who suffered exactly like I did and can share what has helped them overcome their hardships. It's really motivating hearing others who have come this far in recovery, and sometimes when the craving arises, I tend to also use advice from what helped others get through my day. Gary, how about you? Well, David, participating in the group has helped me tremendously. Firstly, it provides a platform to tell my story, and in so doing, gain a clearer understanding of the events and experiences that led to my full-blown addiction. Specifically, the early experiences that first set the precedence for my addiction. Secondly, hearing other stories illuminates common threads that run through all addictions. Things like hopelessness and an appetite for self-destruction amid a steady decline of self-worth and self-control. A sense of mutual support is created, which is important as when you are trying hard to recover, or equally as critical, sustain recovery, support and encouragement from those around you who are also on a similar path of recovery validates or qualifies your inner thoughts. I think recovery is essentially effectively applied within this group environment. Wow, thanks, Gary. How about you, Dante? For me, just being able to voice out to others in a place that's safe and you're cared for really does an aspect of restoring my soul. I've had the opportunity to share this in group settings before. I think it's continually helpful to come into the right situations and share my struggles, in order that in Jesus I might be renewed through the admission of guilt. Then my acceptance of the forgiveness I receive in Jesus, and then the renewal experience by the fellowship and the counsel of others. To put it in simpler terms, guys, y'all really help me keep it together. So here's a fist bump to my brother's keepers. Adam, that one really got a big smile on your face. Yes, David, your program has helped me stay sober in ways that I never thought were possible. You see, as I went through the 12 steps, I would always duck step 4. But going through these group sessions now has allowed me to dig deeper into step 4. I listen to your podcast, and I listen to the way the other men answer the questions, and I sit back and look at how they're approaching the addiction side. I try to apply their answers to my everyday situations. It helps me to get a better understanding and to know that all over the world, men struggle just the same as me. This life is a challenge enough alone as an addict, and to have the help and the guidance of others is amazing. Charlie, you've been waiting to jump in here, so I'd love to hear your words. David, I believe group work has changed my life, and specifically me as a person. First, it gave me hope. I was physically able to see others who have recovered and changed. Then I found a place where I felt like I belonged for the first time in my life. I heard stories that made me understand I wasn't alone, and that the experiences that took place in my life, others have experienced too. I felt a little more normal than before. I also realized that my life could be a lot worse when all along I thought I had dealt with the worst. I heard others share. I was shown love and given support to share my story, which I thought was impossible. In sharing, I became vulnerable and found that honesty allowed me to let go and let God. The more I shared, the more I gave away to God, and I learned I can't ask Him to just take it all away. It is mine to let go. The true vulnerability let me find the absolute love that God has for all of us. Because I have free will, I was able to share what I wanted, listen to who I wanted, and show up where I chose to. Because I surrendered to God, I showed up where I needed to be, and people helped me. By being open, honest, and vulnerable, I put it out there for others to reach out and for me to welcome it or turn from it. I learned that God was speaking to me through others, and it was my job to pray to God for discernment and that the relationships that I wanted may not be God's will for me. The group process taught me to find God's will, humility, the meaning of hope and faith. It taught me to love differently and how to help others selflessly. David, you were one of the first who showed me the power of love in a group setting and how we can dig up wounds and hurts from past traumas so that we can work on it together and promote healing. I fell in love with group process that day. Wow, guys, thanks for all of your input. And I can see you guys are believers like me that small group really is a key to recovery. And that's why A2D spends at least 80% of our time working in small groups. Thanks for listening to this episode of the A2D from Addict to Disciple podcast. If you enjoy these podcasts, share the link with your friends and contacts wherever they are in the world. If you'd like to hear a group session on any topic, drop me a message with your ideas. Tune in Monday for our next episode, and as always, stay safe and stay strong.